complete, and when he viewed his handiwork upon the sixth, seventh day, one flower family caught his eye and caused the Lord to say, their blooms are surely regal and their beauty is supreme. For their different forms and colors constitute a poet's dream. The stomach seeds, microtrophic, inherently slow growers, highly diverse, the cosmopolitan, present all over the world except Antarctica. They have post-pollination development of ovules as the flowers have long shelf life, starting from shelf life or vast life, starting from 7 days to about 3 months together. That means the flowers remain fresh for months together. So that is why that there are multi-million-dollar cut flowers industry in various countries like USA, Japan, Thailand, and so on. But in India, we are not still not aware of this wonderful creation on this earth in many pockets. Though we are trying to create awareness amongst people about this important plants, but still we still see there are some regions where people are not aware of these orchids. I don't know how many of the students who are attending the seminar have seen barriers have to co-evolve, right? But then here is the problem. Morphological barriers are there, but the reproductive barriers are not co-evolved. Okay, so for this, there are free gene flow across, and there are large number of orchid hybrids are being produced, and nearly 2 lakh hybrids are there, and up to hexageneric, I would say. This is very interesting. Even up to hexageneric hybrids have been reported in this case. Now, as far as bird is concerned, there are about 600 genera and 30,000 species. And in India, there are about the latest estimate, there is 1,256 species in 155 genera, and these are distributed in Himalaya, Northeast India, Peninsula, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And about 388 species are endemic. These are the orchid-rich belts, which I'm trying to show in the northwestern Himalaya. And this is the beautiful orchid, which is found in the northwestern Himalayan hills. It's called Cypripedium. It's also commonly called as lady sleeper orchid. As you can see, the flower, as far as orchids are concerned, one of the petals, get modified to form a special structure called lip or labellum. So here lip you can see white colored, and it looks like a sleeper, lady sleeper. So its name is lady sleeper orchid. Then again, another medicinally important terrestrial orchid species growing in nature, Satyrium nepalense. Then Eulophia species, you can just see the colors and shapes of the labellum. Again, Lexis acuminata, it is in Ayurvedic formulations, it is known, just आप जड़ी बूटियां कहते हैं Ayurvedic formulations में. So this is called Rishbhak. Its common name is Rishbhak in Ayurvedic literature. So this is Galanthi tricarinata, again a terrestrial species. Zuxine stratomatica, again it has a lot of morphotypes are available in this, sometimes chasmogamous, sometimes clysogamous forms are there. And again, very, very important, the color is a hetazeria. It is also common language called Salam Panja. It is used, highly used as a tonic, And people, as far as terrestrial orchids are concerned, they have tubers underground, and these tuber undergrounds are of medicinal importance, and these tubers are collected and dried, and then the powder formed from these is called a salep, and this salep is used for many preparations in the for medication. So we tried to collect this orchid long time back near Manali area, 20 kilometers downhill. And where this we try to collect the information that some foreign scientists or traders come, they just try to allure the people with some dollars and all that, and try to take these plants to their own countries and try to take the tubers. Then we try to educate them, we try to create awareness amongst them, and then the next time we went, they're trying to cultivate this species. But of course, this is very, very rare species, and the tubers which are sold at a rate of 20,000 rupees per kg. This is Gudira species. You can see the ornamentations on the leaf. And this is a species which collected, and it throughout its life it's remained underground, and only at the time of flowering it comes out. This is called Cymbidium macrorhizon. It's the only saprophytic species in the Cymbidium in India. And this is the kind of epiphytic species, which is growing on trees. So I wanted to show to the specially students, then how do they look like when they grow on the soil and how do they look like when they grow on the trees. So this is Dendrobium falconeri species growing on the tree as epiphytic. So again, it is called epiphytic species. This is called bat orchid, Vanda cristata, again medicinal important species, also called as Rasna. Now this is the Aridis multiflora species growing on the tree. Outside of my own house, I've tried to grow some of these orchids. And this is Aridis, this is Rhynchostylis retusa. Aridis multiflora is called as Dropti Pushpa, and Rhynchostylis is known as Sita Pushpa. It is learned that in the old ancient literature, these flowers were used as beanies by these Dropti and Sita when they were in the jungles. So this is Cymbidium, and now this is again very interesting species. Red Vanda it is called. Another side it is called Blue Vanda. Both are very rare species in India. So when the orchids were first discovered, they were discovered for their medicinal properties, and it was a myth that if these shriveled tubers are fed to an expecting lady, she is going to deliver a female child, and if the healthy tubers are fed to the expecting lady, so she's going to deliver a male child. So this is a kind of myth when they were earlier discovered, but now a large number of orchids of medicinal importance. They are used in for curing rheumatism as tonic use. They are used to cure nervous disorders. They are used to cure digestive problems. They are used to cure cardiac problems. They are used as expectorant. They are used as anti-cancerous and so on. But there is one orchid called Ceropetallum maculosum. It is called that it is used to enhance the longevity. It's very, very interesting. In fact, is Professor Joseph Arditi from California. He tried to gather the information on the age of the scientists working throughout the world, and then he came to the conclusion that he said those persons who are associated with the orchids in some manner, maybe for the growing, maybe for some as a scientist or something, so they have average life of 10 to 12 years more than the other people. So this is an open invitation to all the participants, all the students especially. So after completing their MSc, they can join the orchid researches and try to solve the challenges which are being faced in the orchid researches. Now I just wanted to show you, आपके घरों में आपने देखा होगा grandfathers जो हैं या grandmothers जो हैं, आप घर में च्यवनप्राश ले जाते हैं, it is considered to be tonic. So इसमें अगर हम कहते हैं जड़ी बूटियां होती हैं, तो जड़ी बूटियां जो हैं इन पे हम काम कर रहे हैं. These are orchids. 4 जो species हैं orchids की डाली जाती हैं च्यवनप्राश में. आजकल तो इसके दूसरे जो duplicate कुछ species हैं which may not be orchids. Some people are saying some alternates are used, but otherwise, you know, this is a B.Voc, which is again a species. Rishvak, I showed you. Riddhi is also Habenaria intermedia, and Riddhi is also one of the orchids which are used in Chyawanprash. And one of my students, in fact, 2 of my students are working on medicinal important plants for their mass propagation, for their conservation, and all that. So these are some of the medicinal species which I wanted to show how they are growing, how they are looking, and these are the tubers I wanted to show you. Then how do the tubers look like? So, and despite all these things, there are in nature when they are growing in northwestern Himalaya, northeastern Himalaya. So there are some landslides, forest fires, and all that, due to which they get endangered. They are getting the natural populations are being destroyed. So there are a large number of threats to these. So why, how there are threats to this orchid diversity in nature? Because of the overall exploitation, people are using it for horticultural purposes, people are using it for medicinal purposes. Recently, we had organized one conference at Nagaland on medicinal orchids. And there we had called even tribal people, you know, to this conference, and some of them were the speakers. Whatever they were speaking in their own language, there was a translator who used to tell us like how they're using and for what purpose they're using. But I must tell you very frankly, they are very, very secretive people. They would not like to tell you the amount which they are using and how they are using. But they, and this conference was organized by us and our medicinal board, and including some government policy, government agencies. And we wanted to give them assurance that let us not give these medicines like this to the people. and let us have some kind of bond, some kind of interaction where there has to be some testing on the persons. There has to be some medical centers where these dose, etc., can be standardized. Only then it can be given. But they were not ready, for that. They were saying they need special hospitals so that they can be employed. They should be given employment. They should be given a lot of money for that. So we were just trying to make them understand. So this is not a fact, and we should not give medicines like that, and we have to standardize each and everything. So then there are other things. The livestock grazing is also there in the fields. The pollinators are also now these days non-available. For example, some of the species we used to collect when we used to go 5, 7 years, 8 years back. Then there were a lot of fruit formation was there. But now when we are going to the natural conditions, we are saying either 1 or 2 pods are there, capsule are there, otherwise they are not being formed. That's clearly indicating thereby, maybe due to climate change and all that. So these, fruits are not being formed. Maybe there is non-availability of pollinators. So this is also one factor which is causing a threat to the orchids. Then climate change. I've told you, shifting of species to alternate habitat conditions, sensitiveness to the microclimatic conditions they have, smuggling by the orchid traders, over enthusiastic and unplanned collection by the students and researchers also. Because if you go to the field, it's not that all the you get. If you see 4 plants, it's not that all the 4 plants you have to bring to the lab for work. Only bring 1 plant, and that too it has to be grown properly in the greenhouse and all that. And we should not waste. Of course, we can mark the area, and next time we can go and again see it's how it is behaving, how it is growing there. And so that we can, again, after mass propagation through tissue culture techniques, we should go back and try to plant more plants in that location. Not we should pluck all the plants from that nature and bring them and damage the things, right? Then, unfortunately, poor natural regeneration, unregulated commercial collections, and progressive loss of the habitats have pushed many orchids to the point of rarity. The family Orchidaceae is protected under Appendix 1 of the CITES. What is CITES? Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Flora and Fauna. So in India, 215 species have been declared as endangered and 14 nearly extinct, right? For preventing further damage, the Government of India, under the provision of CITES, has brought all the orchid species under Appendix 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act, and the international trade is strictly controlled and monitored. So it is not that we can't send the species to other countries. We can't take these species to other countries. We can't exploit like that. I must narrate one story. One of the 3-4 students who had gone to Nainital Hills, Nainital area to collect the species. They were clicking the photographs, and then forest people came and they just took the camera from them and just spoiled all the things, because they would like to preserve the biodiversity of that area. And once you go there, one has to take the certificate from the principal investigator, from the concerned teacher, from the concerned supervisor, and from the department that you are student working on research in this area. You are not simply damaging, you are not destroying the vegetation and all that. Now, field surveys and plant collections. Of course, field surveys we have been doing till 1986, 2019. Of course, during 2020, we could not go. It was just a great loss to us and my students, because we just could not go for the collections. And data regarding the distribution, the habitats and flowering and fruiting is being collected. One of my students is working on the pollination biology. He just goes there, sits there hours and hours, days and nights, to see the behavior, how the different pollinators are coming, how they're interacting with the plant. Then whether they are sitting on the morning coming, they are pollinators, they are visiting the plants in the morning or afternoon or in the evening or at night. And if they come, for how long they stay around the plant, then whether they sit on the labellum, and if for how long did they sit, and when they come out, do they take the pollen along and all that. So the detailed observations are being done. All the students are working on different plants. One of my students is working on synthetic seed technology. Another is working on orchid diversity in different areas, especially in 2-3 species, which is very, very important. We are considering that only 1 species, but there may be 3-4 species, on that. So we are working on northwestern Himalayas and Uttarakhand and all that. But other people, other students, they are keen to more work now on J&K also. So some of the species have shown the extent of variability. So you can see here how the orchids are being cut by the local people for the cattle grazing and all that. And here the cattle grazing is all going on. Then people are collecting, students and researchers are collecting, So here animals are grazing. You can see how these orchids are being fed to these animals. People should not send these animals to such areas, But we have to tell them. We have to create awareness amongst the people. There are very, very important plants are growing that. We have to save this area. We have to protect this area. So again, the tubers. You can say road construction. We were visiting those areas where really a lot of orchids used to grow, but now it is there that road construction sites are there and construction roads and large many orchids are being cut through this. Now methods of conservation. How you can conserve these orchids? It's just so many threads. It's so important orchids. They're horticulturally, floriculturally, medicinally. Every time this is so important. Then there are a lot of threats also. Then how to conserve them? Inventorize orchid diversity of entire country and study their biology. Identify horticultural and medicinal species. Identify horticultural and medicinal species and find out their natural area of distribution and extent of occurrence. So, develop protocols for propagation using and other plants to conserve the germplasm and fulfill the demand. In situ conservation, ex situ conservation, enforcement of global and national legislation, impart training to students and stakeholders for capacity building. So these are legislative measures I have already explained to you. Conservation, of course, government right to protect them in forest reserves, sanctuaries and all that. And there are large number of in the states where these protection measures have already been done. But again, I would like to say these are sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, botanic gardens, and all these are I would say, not exactly serving the purpose of this conservation. So, in fact, tissue culture techniques is the only technique by which we can mass propagate the species, by which we can use explants as flower containing seeds, floral segments, roots, shoot apical meristems, auxiliary buds, leaves, and so on. So here are the seeds. When we try to, we have built the standardized. We have standardized the protocols for mass propagation protocols for nearly 200 orchid species in India, and as I have already told you, these seeds can't germinate in nature, and if they germinate, even to specific mycorrhiza, it will take them 8 to 12 years to reach maturity. So they're very, very slow growth. So through tissue culture, we have tried to produce these plants maybe within 5 months, 6 months, and so on. So you can see how the mass propagation comes by. Standardize the media during initiation, multiplication, and differentiation stages. We have tried to do the seedling. So you can see for terrestrial species, protocols are formed because protocol is again a intervening state between seed germination and seedling development, of things, which I have tried to show it here. And so then there are advantages of seed culture, disease-free seedling, increase with the clonal propagation, mass propagation, and all that. So we have also tried to develop the cost-effective protocols for the species, growing them on different gelling agents rather than using agar. Agar is very costly. We tried to use gel and gum katira, and isabgol and all that. We have got very encouraging results even for that. So here we have tried to use the coir matrix also for the purpose. You can see very well developed seedlings on that also. We have published large number of papers on this also. As far as micropropagation is concerned, we have used again various other vegetative explants on leaf, root, and all that. Here we have tried to use the root, and here we have tried to use the stem nodal explant. We have tried to use the leaf, where you can see again the different parts, different locations, I would say, different regions on the leaves. They have tried to respond to regeneration by giving rise to shoot buds, callus, or osmotic embryos. And here the plant plaques are being formed. So, I mean, these results are very, very interesting. Starting from one leaf, you can produce large number of plant plaques, okay? So here you can see sometimes the whole surface is, proliferating. When you understand the term in orchids differentiation, you can understand here that all the cells were systematic and can give rise to the plants. So we try to see histologically what is the region in the leaf which is responding to regeneration. So it was so we are going. Whatever plants we mass propagate, we have to acclimatize them. We have to in vitro hardening. We have to do in vitro hardening, ex vitro hardening, and take them to the natural conditions. First, take them to the greenhouse. So this is procedure which we have to stop them gradually of food. Gradually, and then gradually nutrition, best light, best image harden them. So this is covered for some time. Then we add dishes and try to associate these. So again, we have got try to put them in forest area near Chandigarh, and they're flowering every year. So this is real conservation, in fact. So there has to be future research. Probably we have to create awareness amongst the people about this. We have to need automation. We have to do the control of regeneration. We have to do more work on the cost-effective regeneration protocols. So, but we have the Orchid Society of India, which was founded in 1984, and we are doing this work. We are going every year to different corner of India and trying to create awareness amongst the people about this important resource of plants. And we are publishing two publications, one international journal, the Journal of Orchid Society of India, which is the only journal on orchids which is being published. And we are also bringing the newsletter, which is for the and or we are trying to organize national conference every year in different corner of India, so that we can create awareness amongst the people. Especially the young students. So we have already organized conferences at various places, and we are also trying to show the orchid diversity also in those areas. So these are various activities we try to involve the students, young students, starting from class 1 till the MSc. So we give them the interest of orchids. So this is a journal being released during one of the conference. It's a child who prepared make this drawing so beautiful, awarded. So you can see the beautiful drawings made by the students, and this orchid diversity shown by some of the states here.
Anji, Dr. Anuprabha, I think she has ended with the talk.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Is she there on the link? Is she there on the link? So that we can take the questionnaire round?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your information. Ma'am, we have some questions related to the talk asked by the participants in the chat box. With your permission, we have start with the question round. Hello.
What you can do is, in case students are not very comfortable,
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Hello. Ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
There are problems in, I think, audio issues.
hello.
Hello. Yes, yes, ma'am.
So I was just saying. Hello.
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am. Yes,
Hello?
yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
I know. I was just saying that in case you can collect as many questions as you can through their messages and emails, I'll be very happy to reply them through email or through you, whatever you suggest the method. Or one or two questions are most welcome right now also.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Now, first question is, during this era, when we see the climate change affecting the plant growth, do orchids face any challenges? Can I repeat, ma'am?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
ma'am. First question. Yes, ma'am. During this era, when we see climate change affecting the plant, do orchid face any challenges during this climate change?
Yes, definitely. As I have already told you that when we visit the natural populations, in the natural habitats, so most of these orchids are either not available there. If they're available, then there are no food setting is there. So lot of challenges. So that means their natural populations are on decline. We have to really do something for the conservation.
Oh, okay. Next question is, can you suggest some common techniques to exceed the production of orchids in field except tissue culture?
Yes, of course. Produce on large scale under through tissue culture techniques, you have to take them to the field, make them comfortable there after hardening and all that. They have to see their growth. So once you set everything right there, then you can see the propagation first. Because the thing is, this is very important that all the orchids don't require same temperature, same shade, same everything, So these are orchid specific also. So one has to have some consultancy from the orchid expert as to which kind of orchids the one person one person is interested to grow. But it is definitely you can do it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, next question is, can ma'am some challenges which you are facing when growing orchids? Some of the challenges which you are facing during.
Yes, definitely, because temperature, it's required from 20 to 32 degrees centigrade, 60% humidity. Some symbidium, species, they require some very cool temperature before the flowering and all that. So you have to, infrastructure and all that. You have to get trained yourself in the kind of potting mixer which is required for particular plant. So it's not only nutrition point of view, even the diseases, orchid diseases, how you have to prevent the orchid diseases and pests and all that. So these are all very, very important questions, and their growth, how they're growing, whether they're flowering every year or not. So these are all questions or challenges, but of course there are answers to all that. And these are species-specific answers, for that. In case somebody is interested, one can approach us.
Ma'am, next question is, any grant available from the government to establish orchid farms?
Yes, I would like to come to the NABARD. This NABARD, NABARD Bank is there, NABARD agency is there. So there are some subsidies they are going to provide to the farmers. And we always, whenever we organize a conference, we always invite these agencies so that people come to know about what are the facilities they are being provided to the farmers. And we always encourage the farmers, to grow these plants. But there are some farmers, when they have to take up the orchid cultivation first time, then they're a little afraid actually because produce is little late first, 2 to 3 years. And then after that, there's no problem. So once they start growing, then they always take some other floricultural crops along. So there's no problem about that. But there are agencies which are always providing the grant and non subsidies.
Thank you, ma'am. Great information has been shared on orchids, and great information has been gained by our students too. Yes, ma'am, you very well stated that orchids are a wonderful creation. It is great to see that how your group is working at a grassroots level with the tribal people. And it is quite evident that working with the orchids requires a large field survey also, and it's a labor intensive method also. The information which you shared regarding especially the mycological aspect and the therapeutic importance, that has been greatly laudable. Students have enjoyed it a lot, and especially the reference you made regarding its usage in Chyawanprash. During the COVID times, I think everybody is relying on Chyawanprash for immunity.
Yes.
So that was a great thing, ma'am. So great, ma'am. Now over to Dr. Anuprabha, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm very privileged to present the vote of thanks to ma'am. On behalf of Department of Botany and my own behalf, extend a vote of thanks to our webinar speaker and my beloved mentor, Professor Pramila Pathak, for enlightening us with their knowledge. Today's webinar was full of knowledge and with interesting things. It gave a deep insight into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts about orchids. Once again, I thank to Professor Pramila Pathak to taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with their knowledge. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to thank to our principal, Dr. Balraj Thapar, for giving permission to organizing this webinar series. I would also thank to our director, Dr. Jasween Dua, for his moral support and guidance. Finally, thank all the participants here for their paying attention and learning. Thank you so much.
I would also like to convey my thanks to Dr. Jasween, your principal of Wesley College, such a prestigious college, Dr. Anu, Dr. Jasween, all, for giving me this opportunity to interact with the young students. And this is always my privilege to be here with you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And sorry for inconvenience once again.
No problem, no, ma'am. We waited impatiently to hear you, ma'am. Everybody was so impatient to hear you. And participants are requested to kindly switch on their cameras for the screenshot.
Thank you.
All of you can kindly share your screens, switch them on.
Should I leave?
Wait a minute, ma'am. All the participants are requested to please switch on your videos so that we can take a group photo. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. The feedback link has been shared in the chat box. We would appreciate that feedback so that we can improve upon next time.
Thank you so much.
All the participants are requested to fill the form which is shared in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to submit it feedback form.
I already submitted, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Anuma. All the participants, you can leave with. If you have filled the registration feedback form, so you can leave.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all for your patient hearing and bearing with the technical glitches which are unavoidable during when we are having some online or virtual seminars.